Now we're going to talk about something that I found out, because I was going to tell you guys about this, but it kind of like threw me off. But just really quick, I want to mention this. So a Russian agent, so you guys heard about the Russians tampering into the election. You guys heard about that? Yes. Specifically in Georgia, the Secretary of State got notified that Cobb and Fulton County got jacked. So they got hacked by one of the people that got indicted in the whole Trump-Russian investigation. They found out that one of the dudes came directly to Cobb and Fulton County to try to influence voters. You know that Kemp, who is the Secretary of State, is in charge of all that. He is now running for governor. So just keep all that stuff in mind. I ain't saying nothing, but it just seems funny to me that, you know, Trump endorsed this guy, right? He's the Secretary of State. He's in charge of all this stuff. And then they find out that somebody that got accused of tampering, who was a Russian, specifically came to Cobb and Fulton counties, which to me are the two most influential counties in this state, not even just in this area, right? I mean, Atlanta is in Fulton County, that we just learned. Parts of Atlanta are in Cobb County, and to me, those are the two most influential areas in the state. I mean, because if you're going to swing Democrat, Republican, you know, I think that Atlanta area is probably the most Democratic part of Georgia.
It's probably the most diverse. Like,
right.
You feel me? So
exactly.
From all these
exactly.
areas,
and they're more liberal thinkers, right? So if you wanted to find out some shit or, you know, influence some people, it would be here. So I think that we need to hold him accountable for his actions. We need some answers. I think we should definitely pay attention. I know people get tired, and I try not to talk about this stuff a lot because, trust me, I want to talk about it every week because I want everybody to know what's going on all the time with Trump. But pay attention to the Russian investigation, all the indictments. Like one of these people that they found out, a Russian agent visited election website in 2 Georgia counties. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're just finding out. The Cobb and Fulton County, one of the guys that got indicted actually tapped into Fulton County in Cobb County voter registration. And we know that when he was Secretary of State a couple of years ago, there were like 5 million or something like that voter information that got leaked. So it's like, you know, the next 9/11 probably will be cyber war. And it's like we're leading up to all that. So pay attention to your passwords. Pay attention to what you log into. Pay attention to where you go on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, because they're not just after your information. Just like this DNA samples they're doing, after you click on some of this stuff, they're not just taking your information, your friends, their friends, and it just goes on and on and on. So don't get Trump exhaustion. That's what I call it. We get sick of seeing his face. We get sick of hearing his voice. But son is up to some shady shit. And until they get him out of there, you know, and it's going to take the local elections to get him out of there. Because remember, the Congress, the Senate, the mayors, all these local people are the ones that are going to be the ones that say, we want him out and do what they got to do to get him out. Okay.
So what are they doing, though? What are they doing about these people that's hacking into the, like...
Okay, so... You know that Trump met with Putin last week.
And he kind of like sided with him for the
And he sided with him. And everyone was like, oh my God, no, he didn't. Yes, he did. Because he's saying, so now Mueller, who's the investigator on the whole Trump-Russian thing, all the evidence is leading up to the fact that they hacked it. There's no questioning it. They have evidence. They indicted several people, namely one of these people that they found out was, you know, in Atlanta trying to hack our information. So when they confronted him with it during this meeting, you know, they're like, yo, how could you just sit down with this guy and not mention the fact that, you know, y'all like on friendly terms, you're not mentioning the fact that you think that his country is trying to like influence our elections or whatever. And he's like, oh, Trump's response was what people got pissed off of, because he was like, that's what they say, but we don't really know if it's just them, you know. So, I mean,
so I'm asking, like,
what are they doing about it?
If they find out that they hacking the system, is this going to, I guess, speed up the impeachment process?
That's like, what they want.
What's the overall goal of them finding?
The overall goal would be to have him impeached, but you can't bring up a sitting president on criminal charges. So it's going to have to do with his election money, like what they're doing now, the Russian investigation. Then they have another investigation about what he was doing with the money with the strippers and the Playboy models. So if they find out that any of that money that was raised for his election was used to pay off these ladies, that is a charge for him to get impeached. That's what I'm saying. You would have to trace the money back specifically to the campaign. So the campaign, like, those people already been indicted. These people are already being questioned by Mueller. These people are already sitting down talking and giving up information. Most recently, Trump's lawyer was subpoenaed. Like, he's the one that he's going to have to tell all the information that he knows. So the closer we get, the more information we get, the more he denies it. And just like he said one time, he could walk down Central Avenue or whatever and shoot people and nobody would care. That's the tone I'm getting. Like, I don't think people are mad enough. They really in here hacking our shit.
I don't even really that is people not mad. It's just that.
What do you do about it?
Yeah, that's to the point. Like, people, they hopeless. Like, so what am I supposed to do about it?
You gotta vote. You gotta vote. You gotta get involved. You gotta spread the word. Like, go ahead, man.
It's not even about just being mad. His voice is the voice for a lot of people that actually feel the same way he do.
Yeah, right.
So there's a lot of people that wanting him to keep talking like that and wanting him to keep acting like this because they feel the same way.
Yeah.
They feel like they want their country back. They want their country back to be how it used to be back in the day when we were the oppressed.
Right.
Although we still are.
Right.
But really,
physically
truly, and
oppressed.
fully
Right.
oppressed. And he around here showboating and strutting and stuff. And they miss that. They want that. So with him acting a fool the way he act, they love it. So they're not going to say too much against him, and they're not going to say too much about all of the shenanigans that he got going on because they like that. And they feel like we've gotten to the point to where we don't have a voice anymore. Because they share in the sentiments.
And they like the way he talks, right? Because
But I think too, at the same time, a lot of the white people, initially they was like, yeah, he's talking what we want. But now that this shit that's getting enacted that's affecting them, and they like, damn, we thought he was on our side. Like,
right.
I think it's not that they like what he's saying now. It's just like, oh, we voted for this man, so we just gonna stand behind him just because, even though we're not agreeing with what he's talking about. Like, and I think that's a bad area to be in. Like, I don't think he really got the supporters like that no more. Now that his true colors are showing, and it's just like.
Because you got to remember, he's a businessman first.
Exactly.
He's never been a politician. Exactly. He's a businessman first. So he going to do what he needs to do to keep his pockets greased, regardless of how it affects anybody around him.
Right.
Because it's him first, dog eat dog world.
Right.
And it's his world right now.
Right.
So it's all about Trump, not the country or Trump's country. Trump, period.
Him and his family.
Right. Think about when he after he's done with his president, his little term, his brand gonna be bigger than ever. Just from him being the president.
Because the moves that he's making,
the Trump hotels, these golf little things, all his stuff, he gonna.
Will they be better or will they be worse? Because will people knowing that way, people are boycotting his stuff already. The daughter's company had to shut down. Like, her brand just had to get shut down.
I wouldn't say, I don't know if it'll be better, but he definitely gonna have some loyal people.
How many white people they were against Trump? Not too many.
Quite a few actually.
Nah, it's a few, but
quite a few actually.
It's the demographics, like the farmers.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna keep it all the way G. My grandpa said he voted. He a farmer, but he said he voted for Trump.
Wow.
You feel me? But it's just because he's speaking to him. You
right,
feel me? As a farmer, like,
because he's saying America first, right? And he's gonna put America first.
Not even that, but on the crop, like just the shit he was talking about with the crops.
So the crops. Just to recap, last week we talked about this, the Chinese tariffs, right? So one of the biggest exports that we send to China is soybeans. Soybeans is like middle America. They farm soybeans. They send them to China. Trump is saying we need to get more money from them for stuff. So he's taxing the shit out of them. You know what I mean? And so China's just like, we don't have to fuck with y'all. We could get our shit from somewhere else. We're not out here to play with your boy. They went and complained, and Trump is just like, oh, whatever, America first. But still, he's getting his stuff made in China. All those Trump flags and Make America Great hats and all that stuff, they're all made overseas.
I just feel like it's more.
So the question that he asked me was, personally, how many white people do I know that did not vote or do not support his stuff, right? That do not support Trump. I know a lot of white people that do not support Trump, that do not believe in what he's doing, and that, because I think it all boils down to being informed, right? I think that the people that agree with him are kind of ignorant. And you know, he's saying that he's cutting taxes, but don't you know that these tariffs are taxes? Because everything's going to go up.
I think I can't really, I mean, you could call them ignorant, but it's the same thing with the Barack Obama situation. A lot of people voted for Barack Obama
just because he was black, right?
And I think they voted for Trump out of spite, like, oh, they had this black person get in, we going to vote another white person, especially that's talking a lot of shit. You feel me? Huh?
I don't.
But you got to think too. I mean, not saying nothing about women, but it's still men that feel like a woman can't run the country. You feel me? So I think that had to play with that too.
Absolutely, but that's ignorant. And I think that what I mean by ignorant too, right? I think that when I say ignorant, I mean because you're not looking at it as America being a part of a global economy.
Exactly. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
Like
that's true.
You looking at it as like, oh, okay, I live in Oklahoma, I live in Kansas, and we're farmers, so I'm gonna vote for him because we're gonna be America first.
I mean, but you gotta think, you always gonna support, like, even when we watch the news. Like, me personally, I like to watch Fox News. Even though I know that they racist, I still want to hear what the other viewers saying.
Right.
But most people, they watch CNN, or they watch what basically caters to what they want to hear.
Right.
And, you know, you're going to vote for somebody that's catering to what you want to, you know, he's saying what you want to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, he makes people feel comfortable. That's exactly what he does. But when you feel comfortable in your country, not knowing that it's a global economy, you know what I mean? Like, your 401k.
I think that's just America.
I think overall,
for granted. Me personally, like, we take a lot of stuff for granted.
Yeah, I think overall Americans on a global scale, and I'm American, I'm putting myself into this boat too. I think overall Americans are ignorant, like, just about shit. Period. I think that we are like very we don't pay attention to the right things. I think that we are focused on too much on money. Yeah, like very superficial stuff.
You're correct.
Yeah,
you're very much correct. However, now is the day that a lot of the younger generation is not with the BS, because a lot of the younger generation do watch
the tables
news,
are turned,
but then again they don't, because they sick of it. They sick of the past, and they sick of how things have been being for a very long time. So they get into it is depressing. So they try to stay away from it because it's all about energy. And if that energy, if I ain't rocking with that energy, I don't want no parts of that energy. And a lot of the younger generation is there. I'm not young, but I listen to a lot of them. You have to talk to them and question them, and they don't want any parts of that. So in a sense, we are ignorant as a country as a whole. Yes, we are ignorant, but there is change coming, because it gets to the point where, you know what, all of this mess that y'all been doing, all y'all politics and all y'all government and all that stuff, keep that.
Yeah, you know
let's do something different, because I think what we've been doing ain't been working.
Right, and you know what I attribute to that? The internet.
Yes,
because the internet is the world. You know what I mean? You have access to see everything that's going on, and that's why a lot of countries ban the internet, because they don't want you to see how everybody else is living. They don't want your mind to be free.
But we used to be like that too.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, one of my professors went to Haiti for their anniversary. They were a white couple, and I'm in high school, 10th grade, and I'm looking like, who goes to Haiti for their anniversary?
Yeah.
They got, you know, people ain't.
But if they said Dominican Republic, we would.
In my mind, because I'm looking at TV, there ain't nothing over there. They starving. They trying to get here. We're helping them. Who goes to Haiti? Not knowing waterfalls, mountains, beautiful streams, beautiful land. They ain't. All these
it's not like hungry children begging for bread. It's not none of that. No, it's beautiful. I mean, they do have their poor part, of course. Yeah, especially right.
You know what I mean? Like, we have so many homeless people in Georgia State every single day.
Right.
$1 million buildings.
Right.
And in contrast to that, I have a lot of Haitian friends who used to say the same thing. Mm-hmm. I got to get to America because everybody lives in a mansion. Dogs don't run the street. That's what they think. Yeah. That's what they were thinking.
Yeah, that's what they were.
My teacher in the 10th grade opened my eyes. Well, my grandmother, Phyllis. Phyllis is a bad something. And we didn't get to think, well, it's not that we didn't get to. She just didn't speak on it because she didn't know. She didn't travel. But Phyllis is something, she would go against anybody. She don't care who you are, how tall you stand. She going against you, and she tried to make us think outside the box. But I never thought about outside of the box, outside of our country, until my 10th grade year. And that teacher made me realize, wow, we are being lied to.
Right. And isn't that a great, like a liberating feeling? And I think that now that we see how connected each country is globally, the economy, just period, travel, it's going to make people open up their minds and think more. And I think that Trump is bringing that up to the surface. So
honestly, I like that Trump is in office. And I like it because it's first off, it's starting a conversation about politics. I don't feel like people ever been this involved in politics ever.
Right.
To even like start.
To even talk about it.
To even know like,
right.
I need. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, I think it's good. I mean, it's 4 years. We got to stick these 4 years. We already 2 in.
Yeah, we already 2 in. He's already campaigning for the next election.
That's what I'm saying. He's
flying
by, but
and this is the thing I don't want us to do, because when I felt like when he was campaigning, we talked about how much we hated him. We talked about how much we just knew he wasn't going to win, but we never put our energy toward who we did want to win.
And me and him were just talking about that, even with like. In the black community, we protesting. Like, what are we protesting for? What is the solution? Right. Like, we just protesting to make noise. And
if Trump is already, he's already campaigning for 2020, and I have not heard of like one person that everybody could just say, unless like Joe Biden, you know what I mean? And people are still saying,
is he officially running though?
He hasn't said it.
Bernie might mess around and run.
Bernie,
I like Bernie when he ran last time.
Yeah. DJ Samore thinks that Kanye is gonna run, but
Kanye in the right state.
Not gonna run.
In the right state of mind.
Kanye has already come out and said he's mentally unstable. I think she would have been better for
because he got experience.
Right.
She had experience.
But that's a part of the job.
But she would have been better for us.
I know that you guys,
but at the same time,
them,
she knows politics. She knows business just as much as he does, but she does know politics, and you got to be able to know the rules to play the game. He don't know the game.
Yeah,
she's trash too, though.
She is trash.
I think that politics.
So I'm saying, I saw y'all voted for Hillary.
I did.
I didn't either. Yeah,
I know you guys can't see them because they're behind the camera, but basically everybody is talking about how everyone was either going to have to vote for Trump or vote for Hillary. Most people voted for Hillary, and the question was, do we think she would have been a better leader? Yes, I do. And if not for nothing, everybody that's in politics has their certain level of griminess, their certain agenda. But what I do think is that she would have represented this country globally in a better fashion, and that is what we need to do. When you're negotiating all these tariffs and stuff like that, when you're visiting all these other countries, you have to represent yourself as a leader, because guess what? In those other countries, they're like, oh, well, they voted for him, so they must agree with this. Yes. And that's what people don't understand. That's why I like to see these protests, because I want the world to know we don't stand for this guy. We don't believe in him, and it's just like you guys probably have bad.
But that's even the same. Back to our black people, like people in Nebraska that's not around black people. All they know is about what they see on TV. They know hip hop artists. That's what they think black people represent.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate that.
I feel you when you saying like
yeah.
Trump represents the United States.
Right.
He's the face.
He's the face.
But look, I'm saying like, so that's just like you got to take the two evils type.
Lesser of two evils. That's what everyone was saying.
I'm not fucking with that though. Like. Both of them trash to me, like.
But guess what? You had to vote. You have to vote.
Because look where we
you have to vote.
Not
right.
saying that you're wrong, but look where we stand right now. Just like
cause ain't affected me.
No, it hasn't affected you, but it will, because we have allies that are considering their back against us because of this one representation.
And all the global, like all the councils and all the like global people that have these councils, Trump wants out of them. Yes. I mean, there are councils that meet and vote on things that affect the world, like global warming, like the Economic Council of the world. He doesn't even want anything to do with any of these people.
We're bigger than that, and we need these allies, because we need them. There is another world war that's coming. We need y'all. We need y'all.
We need France we need their gun power. You know what I mean? He out here calling people. He calling people Rocket Man and talking about like, who does this? Who does that?
A certain level of respect.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it is a joke to him.
He
charades,
on Twitter.
Bro.
He on Twitter.
Charade. J. Cole said this a couple years ago, bro. It's charade. He said this about Barack too, like.
Yes,
but I'm saying like. None of these people affected me, bro. Like I'm talking about,
they did affect you. They did affect you. Yes, you are. Let me tell you how.
Nigga already been at the bottom his whole life, bro. Like nigga ain't goddamn affected me.
Let me tell you how it affects you. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of how it affected me. You want me? I'm gonna tell you how it affected me last week. You want me to tell you directly how it affected me? Okay. Facebook. Okay. Facebook has been a part of this Russian investigation for a while because they gave our information to Cambridge Analytica, who in turn sold our information and got involved with the Russian hackers, and they put all this stuff on your Facebook page to make you change your mind about stuff, blah, 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 right? So with all this information being said, last week when Facebook announced their money that they made, right, the stock went down because Facebook did not have any, the numbers are flat, right? No new people in this United States or in Europe are signing up for Facebook. People are getting off of Facebook because of all this stuff, right? So the stock went down. I don't directly own Facebook stock because it was too hot for me. But guess what? In my 401k, a lot of the mutual funds have Facebook stock, have Amazon stock. So my money is being affected by all of this stuff. It's not directly affecting us, we think, but it is, and it might take a year or two. It might be when your kid goes to kindergarten and you got to get this insurance policy, and then the insurance companies are mixed up with all. Insurance companies and financial services companies are hand in hand. So we have to think about.
What you've been doing. You got to figure it out, bro.
I mean, we're gonna be okay. Like me and my girlfriend always say, black folks, we gonna make it, okay? Because if we gotta go live with everything, like we gotta, we definitely are gonna survive.
You have to operate in prevention.
Yeah, we got to be proactive. We got to be proactive.
Because in rehabilitation, you've already taken so many hits that sometimes it takes a longer to stand up.
Okay.
But if you operate in prevention, you ain't even got to go through that.
If so many people knew as much of, like how y'all was talking about Kobe and LeBron, if y'all knew about the stock market like that, you know how much money we'd be sitting here talking about right now? We need to just be more involved. That's the only thing I always say, and that's one of the premises of this show. We're going to talk about a lighter subject in our next segment. We do get into the ratchetivity a little some. So we're going to wrap this segment up.